So I'm sitting here in the office. I know you guys have probably been waiting all day for the big reveal, if you will. And so I'm sitting here with my business partner, Ryan O'Neill, D. Ryan O'Neill.
What's up, everybody? It's the day. It's September 30th. Are you ready for the big reveal? Should we tell them, Bird?
I ain't telling them nothing.
Come on, Bird.
Let me tell you what's gonna happen. So we're getting ready to upload some stuff. That's what we're still in here in the office late, working on putting together those last little bits and pieces. It's been such a wonderful couple of weeks, if you will. There's a lot of things happening. The Real Source Marketing is no longer. J.R. Bird and Associates is no longer. Both corporations have been dissolved, and in its place today. In its place today. The new company, the Birdology Group. Bird. Don't make me dance. Oh, I felt it. Anyway, so part of the things that we wanted to do at the Birdology Group is really concentrate on the consulting, pushing business forward, creating that synergy between marketplace and ministry, all those wonderful things that I wanted to do before, and just, for lack of better terms, was kind of, I felt held captive. And in fact, when this new company came in, one of my clients said, walk in your new promised land experience and leave Egypt where it is. And so one of the things that I'm going to be doing, and I know you guys are going to probably be a little upset with this, but we're going to be shutting down the Richard Bird Facebook page.
Oh, why would you do that, Bird? You've got so many friends, fans, and followers. So what will possess you to shut down your page?
Well, it's two things. My client base is moving. There are a lot of them are on Twitter. A lot of people that I'm working with are on Instagram, which is where we're connecting now. The bigger part, to tell the truth, is we're not going to get rid of our presence on there. We're just not going to have the personal profile.
Okay.
And so the business profile will be there, and everyone who's on my personal profile right now, if you're a friend of mine, don't worry. You're being moved over to the business page. But what you will have to do if you want to get all of the good stuff that we're doing is hit the follow button.
Okay.
And that just makes it easier. I think from a business point of view, let me ask you this question. Have you ever posted something and wonder how many people were following you, how many people
Absolutely.
Were even reading what you were saying? And so what happens now is with the business page, it gives me an opportunity to really look at the analytics, to really say, okay, I see that 75 people saw what I posted. I see that 150, whatever the number is, and it just makes better sense in all of the different things that we're doing. I mean, right now we have a presence on maybe 15 to 20 social networks, and somewhere down the line you got to say, my time that's involved in maintaining just is not where it is. And so we thought that this would probably be the best way. It's the best thing for me. Moving forward, I need to rest.
I think maintaining several pages, a business page, a personal page, another page, studies have shown that, you can't focus on more than one thing at a time. For people out there, for all those people that are multitaskers, if you will, studies have proven that when you multitask for so long, you might as well smoke weed. It kills your brain. No, seriously. These are actual studies, and so
did the preacher just say that y'all should smoke weed?
No. I'm not saying you should smoke weed. I mean,
it's the same.
That's
okay.
The same thing.
All right, Lord.
So my thing is, for all you preachers out there, especially artists that are out there trying to manage their manage all these different pages and things like that, you've got so many presences. And for me, I'll say what I learned from Bird. In Birdology is that, when I first met Bird, I had Ryan Jones Ministries, I had this, that, and the third, I was going to do this, had all these big ideas and presence, and was trying to accomplish one thing, but you've got all these different, so people don't know who you are.
Right.
I think when you have that stuff, I mean, you're trying to, the end goal is to multiply yourself and keep things separate, but yet the same, so.
I mean, I'm luckier. if you will, than most people because I have a staff that can handle my pages.
Okay.
But I want to maintain a personal touch. And so I just felt it was the best way. The other part of that, and you guys know this, that there's so much drama or negativity that happens on social networks that in this transition time, if you will, I'm just trying to make sure that I put my best foot forward. I want to make sure that I'm giving the best to my clients. And so that just, that means I have to stop doing some things that I'm doing. If you want to be better, sometimes you have to give up things that you like in order to make sure that you can transition to stuff that's even better than where you were before. And so,
I think it's powerful. I think it speaks to itself. I may end up doing the same thing for my page because you're on social media, you're on Facebook for the purpose of course, sharing about your life and sharing your story, and that's a part of your business. You're very intimate. You're very touchable. So I think it's powerful.
and for those, I've made a ton of money on Facebook. I'm not my ROI for Facebook is wonderful. In fact, I just signed a very lucrative client that has been following me for a few years on Facebook. We connected, came in through my inbox, so I'm not upset with the ROI of what I do on Facebook. There's a lucrative return. I just think there is. Let me put it to you this way: in your life, in your business, in your personal life, in ministry, in anything that you're doing, there has to come a time when you have to take it a step further.
Absolutely.
That you have to step up and you have to move further than where you are. I often say when I'm teaching, that's just change something because it's going to change your perspective. So closing down Facebook, at least this personal side of Facebook, is just going to allow me to focus differently. I'm not saying that it's going to be that way forever. I may come back in a year, maybe 3 months or whatever. But right now, I'm making that change so that I can concentrate totally. So we will still have the jrichardbird.com page. Facebook page will be there. I'm still going to be on there as much as possible. My staff will handle it most of the time. You'll be handling some stuff for me on there as we move on in some of these other endeavors. The Church Brand Architects page.
Right.
Will be there. The name change on that is happening as we speak. It's changing from urban church marketing into Church Brand Architects. We're just making sure that our brands are consolidated throughout. I tell folks, my upbringing, if you will, I shouldn't say my upbringing, but my foundation is in business, and so the MBA, the Master's Business Administration side of me, that they didn't take all the classes. Shh, don't tell nobody. Wants to create systems, wants to take. Everything wants to be separate. I want to have everything separate so that I can sell them off and things like that. Now, the management side of me, which was the other part of the studies I did, wants to figure out how we can consolidate. The marketing side doesn't want to have a house of brands. It wants to be just one brand. So this is trying to get things together, bring it under one roof. I will say this, a pastor friend of mine, my pastor, in Connecticut, Pastor Muntz,
Right.
told me about 5 or 6 years ago, right before I moved to North Carolina. He said, Bird, you need to have a company that bears your name.
Right.
He says you need to have a company that your children can have as a legacy.
Right.
And while Real Source Marketing, even J.R. Bird and Associates, could handle that, that really stuck with me. That I wanted something that I could hand down to my kids and my kids' kids. And birdology, which is the science of who I am, kind of the essence of my theory of how to do business and how to do life and how to do ministry. I think that's something that's a legacy that I can hand down to my kids and my kids' kids. And then, years from now, the House of Birdology, if you will, or something like that. But
House of Bird. This guy. So, what you said to me resonated a lot. One of those things is that I remember working for a company. In my background is finance, and so I have had the opportunity to work as finance manager for a couple of companies, and one of the companies I worked for was we're getting ready to do IPO readiness, which is basically getting SOX compliance and getting ready to be publicly shared, publicly shared on the stock market. One of the things that the company that I was with that was preparing for it is they begin to consolidate for continuity purposes, and one of the things that became a culture was breaking down the silos. And I believe that that will be one of the topics that we'll talk about. A part of the Preneur Academy is breaking down the silos. When you work in an environment where there are silos, where you have to talk to this manager, to talk to that manager, to talk to that manager, and when I say that, we bring silos not just we're breaking down silos in the corporate world, which means we also need to break them down in our business and our small business world. You know, in the church, you've got silos. You've got to talk to the pastor, secretary, armor bearer, assistant, armor bearer, secretary, just to get to the pastor's chief adjutant.
Yeah.
You know, and now in this day and age, while yes, we do want order and protocol, but we want to break down the silos so that people can feel touched.
Well, one of the things that we did in just setting up business is, having been in business development for a long period of time, you often forget small things that you can do that help you become more efficient. In many cases, when I walk into a business, I walk into a ministry, it's always something very small that we can change right away that brings hundreds of thousands of dollars to the table. Right. You know, that's what consultants do. What I wanted to do is to approach the Birdology Group like a startup.
Okay.
I wanted to approach it like a startup. I wanted to go back and find that that piece inside of me that made me excited about doing business. And that was one, coming up with a new name, just totally throwing away. I shouldn't say throwing away, but getting rid of everything that was prior, not holding on to so many different corporations. You know, tax time is a mess. You know, corporation after corporation after corporation after corporation. You know, how can we consolidate this under one house and really service clients better? And probably the most important part of me, be more efficient at what we're doing. Being laser focused and being intentional, which is really the hallmark of what we're going to be teaching. You know, Ryan let it out before. Our biggest surprise is that we're opening something called the Preneur Academy. Say it with me.
The Preneur Academy. I'm sorry. I'm so excited, everybody, about this thing that's going to change your life. Tell us what Preneur Academy means to you.
You gotta forgive Ryan. He has some preacherish-ism in him.
It's who I am. And a part of the Preneur Academy, why it speaks to me is because I feel like I can be my authentic self. And I grew up in church. I'm a church kid. Mm-hmm. I grew up as a pew baby is what they call them. And from an early age, I started knowing that I wanted to preach. And all of my life, even when I was sowing my wild oats, I knew that I was called to preach. So I always envisioned or limited my success in preaching. Yeah. But I knew deep down inside there's more than the preacher. One of the reasons, that's the reason why launching The Ryan O'Neal was so big and important to me, was because there's a preacher inside of me. But I don't want to just preach to people. I want to empower people. I want to change lives. It's kind of, you know, it goes with our logo design, kind of like with birdology, studying birdology. You know, The Ryan O'Neal, the logo it's a stamp. Yeah. I want to make a stamp or imprint on people's lives with just encouraging empowerment. So I seem bubbly and overly excited because I am just excited to just be me. I'm me, you know, I'm living authentically me. And anybody that knows me know if you know me from the church scene, I'm very reserved.
Well, here's what it comes down to. You are a communicator. And one of the things that we have often talked about in our lunches, meeting together, has been, how do you communicate to people? Right. It doesn't always have to be preaching. It doesn't even have to be business development. It doesn't have to be marketing. But there's all these different tools that you can use to communicate to people. And you know, our new offices are right here in Uptown Charlotte, right on Bank Row, if you will.
Right.
And so I wanted to be able to create business meets ministry meets entertainment. That's the core of who I am. All those people are wrapped up in one. And I know you just celebrated a birthday. I celebrated a birthday a few months ago, and a client said to me, you know, I want to die empty. And it wasn't an original quote, but it was something that kind of just kind of hit me like, wait a minute, I'm 43 now. And all of these years, I've been not only just helping people, but I've been still holding back.
Right, right.
You know, you help a little bit, you show a little bit, you make a lot of money, but there's still always some stuff that you're kind of holding back on knowledge base. And as I was putting together stuff, I looked through all of my hard drive, right, and I found 3 and 4 and 5 years worth of content that I've written, that I've produced, videos and stuff. And I think one of those things when you start to go, you still have some time left.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I'm starting to approach that back hill of life, if you will, you start to look at what is legacy. Now, by no means am I old, but I'm just saying that right now I'm starting to think about, what am I going to do? My son is going to be out of high school in a couple of years. I have one son who's thinking about getting married. Now it's time for grandkids.
Yeah.
And what is the legacy going to be for those? And do you have the pieces in place to teach them? So the Preneur Academy kind of rolled out of that. I don't want to die having all of this information, having all of this knowledge base, having all of this blessings, and get to heaven and be able to say, no, I kept it all to myself. I'm stingy. That's not what I want to do.
What you're saying sounds exactly like a quote that I heard that caused me to come to myself, my authentic self, is that the richest place in the world is not Wall Street. The richest place in the world is not the Cayman Island banks where some rich people hide their money. The richest place in the world really isn't a bank. The richest place in the world is the graveyard. The many people that die with millions and $billion dreams and inventions and witty ideas and jokes and pranks and so forth, the creativity, messages, songs that could have given them so much success, but their fears cause them to go to their grave with those dreams and visions and stuff like that.
Yeah, and so I'm gonna stop him before he gives it away. Here's what the Preneur Academy is. It's a place. It's with a space, Preneur, and it's for anyone who's thinking about moving or transitioning from one part of their life to the next. So you can be an entrepreneur, you can be a mediapreneur, you can be a preacherpreneur, you can be a mompreneur, dadpreneur. You name it, and if you think that's who you are, this is going to be for you. We're going to be teaching business development, public relations, marketing. Social marketing, social media, little relationship, that work balance piece. I've had 5 kids. How do you stay married with 5 kids and run a business, and work 60 hours a week? That type of thing. There's somewhere there's going to be some give, and so we have this together. You're the young guy. I'm the little seasoned guy. And I think we're going to be able to come at this from 2 different angles. Ryan, you're in that area now looking to get married. How do you do that? How do you protect your business when you get married? Does it look like a prenuptial agreement or does it look like something else? And so that's what we're going to be talking about in the Preneur Academy. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to give you 4 videos. I call it my 4.3. It's going to be, I believe, video number 1, correct me if I'm wrong, is going to be how to be big when little's got you.
Man.
How to be big.
When little's got you. Okay.
When little's got you. Because what happens with most people, and I don't want to give it away, but what happens with most people.
Don't tell them.
I got to tell them this. What happens with most people is that you want to do big things, but you haven't figured out how to get rid of little thinking. You've been caught up in just, I can only be so far, and that you never look at that there's something else. I'll tell you this quick one. I just bought a new MacBook.
Okay.
With the Retina screen. And so as I sat down and started working on this new MacBook, I'm really thinking it's the same as my old MacBook. Until I realized that there were websites and things that I had built prior without retinizing, new word, I like that, retinizing certain graphics, that I had a fuzzy looking website based on, I had a new screen. So what I'm saying is there are times when you just don't know that you have fuzzy. Okay, anyway, so we're going to talk about.
I told you.
We're going to talk about
this guy.
How to think big when little's got you. I'm going to go over at least the four major systems that you need to have in order to be successful in business. I'm going to talk about the four marketing tools that you need to have in order to be successful. And then Ryan's going to talk about how to just change your attitude and how you approach life and business. And then we're going to wrap it up with one of my resource guides, how to put it all together. At least if you do nothing else, you're going to want to check out these 4 videos. And so you can get to that on my website, jrichardberg.com. You can get to it off of Ryan's site, theryanO'Neal.com. I'm a RyanO'Neal.
The Ryan O'Neal. I think that this is a beautiful thing, man. I'm excited that we have partnered up together. We have been friends. It seems like whenever I'm around this guy, I'm just bubbly. We feed off each other. I love it because my energy feeds off yours, your energy feeds off mine, and I think it's ministry, but it's ministry beyond. And that's one of the things I'm excited about. This is that we're planning on changing your perspective to change the nation. Somebody's calling in. They want to hear about what we're doing.
Nobody even told them to call in. I bet you that's my wife. In the middle of my whole thing. Yep, it's my wife. Shh. Don't y'all tell her I hung up the phone on her. Don't tell her I hung up the phone. Please don't.
Well, listen, Bert.
Please don't tell her I hung up the phone.
We've been on this thing. Let's tell them one more time how they can get access to us. We can't give everything.
jrichardberg.com. You'll see a link there for the Preneur Academy, and I'll post it here on Facebook and some other places. And theryanO'Neal.com. There'll be a link there that'll get you to the page. Go ahead and sign up because you want to be in line. When we first put this, we were having this argument about how many people.
Yeah.
I was saying I only want enough to fit in one room. Ryan wants a little bit more, so we'll see where we're led once we get going. I just wanted to say, I wanted to do this video without all of the tricks. So we literally just opened up the laptop computer. We don't have any of the fancy microphones. All that stuff is all over on the other side of the office space because I wanted this to be personal. I wanted you to feel my heart. And I wanted you to feel Ryan's heart. I want you to be introduced to us as just regular people versus all the glitz and glamour that we can do with lights and the best cameras. So if you're that person that is stuck where you are, if you're that person that's looking for a way to move from level A to level B, if you're that person that feels that you have a dream inside that needs to come out, it's been screaming at you. If you're that person that feels that where you are is not where you should be, then you need to go ahead to our websites, sign up, and let's make something happen. And as I've always told my kids, knowledge is indeed power, and let's impact the world.
Listen, I want to say this because I've got a couple of friends that I've been sharing this with. I've had the opportunity to be a brother, to be a counselor, to listen to a lot of people and help motivate and coach them. And now is the time for you to really be a part of something. I've been encouraging you. I've been motivating and pushing. So this is a personal message to some of my friends. I've been pushing you. I've been coaching you. I've been encouraging you and all that good stuff. And I'm just a nobody, but just Ryan, the simple the Ryan O'Neal. Today, I want you to seriously think about signing up because even though I've been there to help coach you or giving you any advice or whatever, this guy sitting next to me, the brains of the operation, is going to show you how to break into big. I've got some artists. I've got some family members that are singers and producers and writers, and they've got so much talent, and I hear you talk all the time. I don't know where, I don't know how to, and I can't do this, and I can't do that. No longer say I can't. No longer say but. For what you want to do in life. Mm-hmm. You can. No longer do I want to hear someone call me telling me I coulda, woulda, coulda, shoulda, woulda. And don't call me. Text or ask me for any more advice. if you're not willing to get connected with this thing
he
here.
shook his head.
No, I mean it's no love loss.
He
It's
shook
just
his head.
it's no love loss. It's just I want to see you do great, and I don't want to keep going around the mulberry bush. 2 months later, you're still in the same place talking about what I want to do, coulda, shoulda, woulda done, and you're not. This man here, you got a business idea?
Here's what we're gonna do. Hit the website. I gotta go.
We gotta go.
Cause my wife already done called one
She's
time.
calling my phone.
And if she called back again,
Ugh.
I'm gonna be in trouble.
5 kids, 1 wife, 20. How many years has it been?
Don't tell nobody. Don't tell. Look. I'm trying to keep another 22 years. Here's what I'm telling you. You know, all right, here we go. All right, check out the website, jrichardbird.com, theryanO'Neal.com. Peace. I love you, Ryan. Thanks a lot, man.
I love you. Life.
We're going to make this happen. Impact the world. All right, peace, y'all.